Hi everyone, I'm Jada Burt and this is In My Tracks. You know that feeling when a song comes on and it's so good that it feels like you're frozen in time? Well, that's what this podcast is all about. Songs that stop me in my tracks. I chat with musicians about their inspiration, process, and challenges. And you discover your new favorite songs. Trauna is a Nashville-based indie pop duo that is bound to take the genre to new heights. I found them while scrolling on TikTok, and I have been mesmerized ever since. Their ability to tell personal stories over such great grooves keeps me hooked. Sometimes I want to dance while I reflect, and Trauna provides the perfect tunes for that. Let's get tracking. Hello and welcome to In My Tracks. Today I'm speaking with Trauna, a lovely duo from Nashville. Would you guys mind introducing yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Connor Robertson.
And I'm Liz Friel.
So how did you two meet?
Tindy.
I love it.
Yeah, we met on Tinder.
Yep.
3 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like over 3 years ago, yeah.
That is so cool. So you literally meet on a dumpster fire app,
Yep.
and then you make an iconic duo. So, so how did you guys decide to start a band?
So I guess after we'd been dating for, I think it was probably less than a year when like COVID started, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We were, doing the whole like lockdown thing together, and just kind of trying to, come up with ways to entertain ourselves at home. And I was kind of diving into learning more about recording and producing during that time. And Liz has like always been like writing some music, but she was writing songs too. And then we just decided to start recording some songs together, so Liz could write songs and I could practice the recording stuff that I was learning how to do.
That's really cool. Yeah, putting both
Yeah.
of your skills together and having that base of, friendship and then also like the romantic relationship. That's amazing. Like having all of those sides, and you guys have made some really, really amazing songs so far.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, I can't wait to see where you guys go. What's the story behind your band name? Because Trauna like really stood out to me, and yeah, so I'd love to know the backstory behind it.
When I was little, you know how like nicknames come out of nowhere from
Yes.
your parents and stuff. My mom, one of them when I was little was Trauna Balana. And so we were like going through names. Once we had a song we like had taken to the studio. I don't remember what came first, but I think Connor was like, "That's Channable." So we're like,
Trauna.
It is.
yeah.
It's easy to spell, simple enough. Like it really hits all the points, and it's unique as well. So I think you guys did a fantastic job using that, and it has a backstory. So
Yeah.
not everyone
Yeah.
can say that.
Yeah, I like Google searched Trauna and if that even is a word, and we're like, clear.
Like, yes, it is ours. Yep, you guys have it. So you guys have, grown over the past 3 years, like, just getting to know each other more and using your skills to kind of get to where you are today. Who would you say that you make music for?
Anyone that likes it, because it's kind of, it doesn't really, I don't think it sounds like any one thing in particular. It's such a melting pot of everything the two of us like. I would say it wasn't until we started like playing a couple shows live that I realized when we do shows, I want to play music that people can dance to. So I guess for me, it's for anyone who wants to go out dancing instead of like, because I went to too many shows I'm not trying to be a hater, but too many shows where you're standing and you can't dance, and I'm like, I'm bored.
Yes.
I want to go home.
Yes. My feet hurt. Like,
Yeah.
can we move?
Exactly.
Yes.
Anyone who wants to get down.
Love it. Love it. Everyone's not doing that these days. No one's talking about the fact that we should be able to dance at like all the shows. So yes, appreciate that. Seriously.
Yeah.
And then talking about you guys kind of forming a group based on both of your interests and your influences, who would you say are some of your biggest influences that are shared within your duo and then individually?
The reason we started the band, or like started making music, I think like the first time Connor was like, we should record something, was because he had gotten into the band Tennis, and he's like, they're a cute couple making like retro music. He's like, we should try that. So that was like the first shared inspiration, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Tennis, because I mean, we love a couple duo. I mean, because I mean, you know, you can hear when there's no chemistry, like, and it just helps. It's convenient. You guys have a relationship. It's there, and it comes out in the music. So yeah,
we're very lucky.
Yes.
To have the situation that we have. It works out very well.
Yeah, seriously. And so, thinking about your legacy and how you kind of want to grow as a duo and as artists and as people, what would you say you want to be known for?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Man, I don't know. Liz, you go first.
Do you have an answer to that? I had an answer to this one. I would say writing about the hard stuff, the not so pretty stuff, I guess. Like a lot of when I sit down or like am inspired to write about any topic, normally it's something that's like that's a bad quality in myself, or why am I that way, or like why am I in this dynamic? So I guess it would be, I would love to be known for being the person that's not afraid to discuss the ugly top. Not that I'm not unique for that, but I don't know. That's such a hard question.
Yeah, I love that though. It's important. It's a way of being transparent and real, because I mean, it's easy. I don't know. I kind of feel like after a while you run out of happy-go-lucky things to write about, and you kind of lose the honesty. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's also really easy to write sad songs too, and to like write about things and everything sucks. And I don't want to do that either, because every situation, no matter how dark, there's light to it or humor to it, you know?
I think
so
that's
I feel
where,
like
the dancey part comes in with the music underneath.
Yes.
The songs.
Yes. Or, I don't know. I'd love to be known for like making a sound that's not like something other people have heard, like instrumental or like sonically, you know. But
yeah, that's what I was gonna say, is like having a fearlessness to just kind of follow our gut and not try to fit into any particular zeitgeist, I suppose. Just kind of doing our own thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how the best music is created, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are just being true to yourselves and authentic. And so just getting started now, having that desire really will just set you guys apart and help you like continue to go far, I believe.
It's hard, like getting something. I don't know. I feel like sometimes it can be difficult. Like trying to like get people to catch on to what you're doing, if you're doing something that doesn't like fit into like a particular like scene that you're a part of, because people are so used to like certain styles like right now that
Yes.
when they hear something that's new to them, like, it takes a minute for them to get used to it or get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So
I totally hear you guys. I mean, just because it's kind of limited people's perception of the genre and how the new music should sound, where it really should all sound different. But
yeah, totally.
I mean, I haven't been getting that lately.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, we definitely, I would consider us like an indie band or independent doing all of this ourselves. But when we tell people that we make like indie pop music, they already have, they already have formed an idea of what we sound like.
Yes.
And it's usually that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stop. Like literally, if you get nothing else from this, stop doing that. Just listen to the band in
Right.
front of you. Thank you.
Right.
Please and thank you. So I saw you guys were based in Michigan and later relocated to Nashville. I know it is such a grind down there. I can only imagine. But what keeps you grounded as professional musicians as you are, working towards, reaching your goals and, achieving your dreams?
I think it's the stage that we're in, and I bring this up
Yeah.
a lot, and feeling like even though it's funny, I saw that question, I was like, professional, like, ooh. But like when you're in the stage that we're in, and you don't really have a big like following, we're making negative money off of it, like we know that we're doing what we're doing purely because we love what we're doing, and it's not for any other reason. And that's really like, even though we don't have the traction that we would love to have eventually, I know I'm so grateful to be in a place where I'm like, wow, I'm only doing this because it's what I want to be doing. And that's grounding, I guess.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, I still have a day job, and that's grounding for me.
Yes.
Working your
Yeah.
butt off somewhere else
Yeah, for sure.
6
And
days a week.
also, like having a job. I'd work at a coffee shop, so having a job outside of music like that makes like the free time that I have to work on music that much more precious to me.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of painful in a way because it's like, oh man, I have to do this so I can pay for what I really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, oh my gosh, you guys are killing me. So yeah, I totally understand that it is grounding, and it is unfortunate that that's a part of the process.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So,
It is good to have a life outside of it, though, because as much as I would love to have it be my career and be paid to do what I love doing, it's nice to have a life outside of it so I don't get sick of it, because I can totally obsess over things to the point where I like bore myself, So it's good
Yeah.
for me, at least, being an obsessive, like, not addictive person, but like fully throwing myself in things and then being bored. It's good for me to have something else to go do and people to go interact with and hear stories, get screamed at by tables. Like, it's good to have
Yes.
that
Yes.
for inspiration.
I think when you're having those human experiences too, like it gives you more, I don't know, relatable and interesting things to write about.
Yes,
in
I
your
can hear
music.
that. Yeah, I can definitely get that because, yeah, I totally get both of your points there because it really could be easy to just kind of be locked in a room for who knows how many hours
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually get burnt out. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
yeah, and
But you could
yeah.
you could be just not have you could not have any life outside of music and sit in a room for days and days trying to write something and not have any ideas, and then you can like have a super eventful like normal day and have so much more to write about in just a
Exactly.
couple of hours.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great point. It really does. It might be a pain to be treated poorly outside the world, but it really does feed creativity. So
Yeah.
pain, yeah, unfortunately, pain and sadness and anger really helps the process. So going back to having lives outside of music, that is extremely important because, as we mentioned, like it can lead to burnout. Have you guys experienced that yet in regards to your music while you're trying to balance so many other aspects of adulthood? Because I know there's a lot going on. I mean, you moved from Michigan to Nashville, a crazy hustle and bustle city.
Yeah.
The question is burnout?
Yes. Yeah. So have you experienced burnout as of late, while you're trying to balance everything going on in your life as well as music?
For me, it's
Definitely.
funny because being like such an extrovert, I am like fueled by being social and like being with my friends, meeting people. So when I moved down here, I started working almost immediately, and it's a lot of days out of the week at work. I'm serving tables right now. Serving tables. A server. And when I started spending so much time at work and not having enough time to go out and meet people, that's when I started to feel burnt out. Instead of like having too much on my plate, it was like not having enough time to be with people is when I started to feel a little bit like down. But then I like go out and hang out with one friend. I'm like, I'm all better. One
Yes.
person texts me. I'm like, I'm all better.
Yes, I can totally relate to that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much the exact opposite. I'm a complete introvert, and I spend, it's like 6 hours taking people's coffee orders every day, and then after that, I just like want to go home and play video games by myself.
Warzone.
Yeah. So it definitely is a little bit more of a struggle for me.
He's
to,
cutting
like-
himself short though. Like he goes to work for a 6 a.m. to like 2 p.m. shift and then comes home and works on like Songfinch or has somebody to record with. So he works his
And
butt
then I
off.
want to play video games.
And then he'll play Warzone.
Yes, but yeah, that even adds to the balance within the duo, like having both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really, yeah, it comes through for sure. But I can totally see that just, being put in a situation that isn't really optimal and isn't what you want to be doing while like not having enough time to get to what you really are interested in. I can see that really just leading to burnout and depression, honestly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Because I want to be spending all the time when I have that energy that I bring to work. I want to be spending that time working on music or spending that energy working on music and not my day job. So
Yes,
I
absolutely.
just if I could just take the day job out of the equation, then I could just save all that energy for music.
Yes, exactly. I do not. I do not want to talk to you, and I don't want to talk about coffee.
Right.
Yeah, but what interests do you guys have outside of music that boost your creativity? I know we talked about how, our jobs and, our obligations kind of help fuel creativity, even with the, good and bad experiences we have. But I'd love to know what kind of helps fuel you guys in, this busy period of life.
Well, I just graduated in April, and my degree was in psychology. So having that interest, I guess, like helps. I shouldn't say it helps, but it has totally changed how I process situations, I guess. And so when I'm writing about things, and almost every song, if you listen, is like about my interaction and me like talking with somebody. And like, I don't know, that definitely filters how I write about any topic, like if it's generational cycles and trauma or something like that. And yeah, I don't know. I would say psychology is probably one of the biggest interests, but also going out dancing. There's this DJ duo that's based out of Nashville, and I've been a huge fan of theirs since I was in high school. I would see them at Bonnaroo. They're called Sparkle City Disco. And I went out like over Halloween dancing, and they just put on the best set. Like they really make you feel like you're in what I'd imagine is like an 80s disco, like a club. And like even going out and just dancing and like hearing 80s vinyl and stuff like that. Instantly, when we were working on music the next time after I went out, I was like, glittery synths, like all of our songs sound like so different, even just going out.
Ooh,
So that's
I love
that.
it. Love that. We love a synth. Yes. But no, yeah, that's electrifying, really, just being out dancing, connecting with yourself and the crowd, really. So yeah, it's beautiful.
Knowing what people like get down to.
Yes.
You know? 100%. Connor, interests?
Yeah, that's a tough one for me because when we're not working on something that involves Trauna, I'm doing like 100 other things that are music related. So I write like custom songs for like people's special occasions on this website called Songfinch, and I produce for some other artists, and I also tour in another band called Michigander, and so I have really just I don't know, doing things that involve music is like very all consuming for me, which is honestly how I like it. I don't really want to be doing anything else, so but I do love cooking. I love watching cooking videos on YouTube. So when I am like too oversaturated with music, I'll go watch a like Bon Appetit video or something.
Yes, mind numbing videos.
Yeah.
So Liz, when you mentioned that you studied psychology and that was one of your interests that added to the music as well as dancing, I can hear both of those things in your music. So you really, really achieved that. You cover deep topics while still like making danceable music. So, and that's hard to do with indie pop without making it kind of, like we said earlier, like sound like everyone else. Like it's a very unique thing you two are doing.
Yeah. I think like also processing and like going through everything the planet has been going through the last few years and the last like however long, you know. I just have always felt like what I said about going out to a show, like you want to dance. So when we were writing music and stuff, I'm like, we might be talking about something that's on the deeper side, but do I want to make people wallow when they listen to my music? Like, absolutely not. That is, I mean, feeling anything when you're listening to a music, you've like achieved something big there. But personally, I want people to feel good after listening to our music, no matter the topic. And if that means even they can dance a little bit, you know, that's therapeutic. I feel like I've done something right there.
Absolutely. I love that, because having that desire, it really comes out and it leads to all of that care and attention, you know, producing a wonderful song that people can either listen to the lyrics and think about or just enjoy the melody and dance to. So yeah, we need both. So you both do quite a bit, you know, regarding music, writing, recording, producing. What would you say is your favorite part of the music making process?
For me, my favorite part of it is like just like searching for ideas, like just like playing around on like a guitar or a keyboard, or like just like humming melodies and stuff, and like putting stuff down and like just like recording like random snippets of things until you finally find like the one idea that like that sparks a whole song. I love the searching.
Yeah. And sometimes like feeling inspired feels so good. And sometimes that comes out of thin air. Like for me, I feel like I get the most ideas when I'm trying to sleep at night and I can't, because I don't know why. I think it's because that's the only point in my day where I'm not overstimulated or like bombarded with stimulation, because I overstimulate myself on my phone all day. So as soon as I like hit the pillow and there's like nothing is when it's like idea.
Yes.
Outward idea, you know? So whenever that feeling, whenever inspiration comes, is obviously like the best feeling. But sometimes, like Connor said, you have to, if you want to make a career out of it, or you want to do something more than like drop in singles every once in a while, like you have to push it, you have to force it sometimes. And sometimes that inspiration like follows you forcing yourself a little bit, or like trying to piece it together, and then you're like, this song's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would like, I don't think that you have to force inspiration, but I definitely think in some cases you have to like go looking for it.
Yeah.
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 It's almost like a practice. Like, as far as searching, do you find yourselves following like certain schedules or doing certain activities to kind of find ideas, like taking a walk outside, like things like that?
I would say Connor's the most like regimented out of the two of us, because he has more on his plate music wise. So he probably naturally has more of a routine that would make him more receptive to ideas and stuff. For me, I'm more frazzled. My nature is just frazzled. So
Yes.
like when I get inspired, it's normally like I went out to Brooklyn for the first time, and then I was just like walking around Brooklyn and in like restaurants, and all the baristas are playing their own house mixes, and I was just like, oh my gosh, you know. So it's, for me, it's just like whenever I'm out and about and I'll like hear a little like a bass line or something, I'm like, that's cool, record it, you know. But I feel like Connor definitely has more of a routine.
I don't know. I guess I wouldn't say that I have like a super like hard and fast routine, but I do like to I do like to plan my day a little bit, and just kind of, because I do have to like carve out time for like a lot of different things. I feel like most days, I guess when I want to work on something, I will just like sit in the studio and just kind of like mess about on instruments and stuff until I get a little idea. But I mean, I'll have like melodies pop into my head while I'm like working, or like while I'm like driving around, and stuff like that. So, you know, the old voice memos app is a handy little tool
Yes.
for those moments. But yeah.
I love the idea of you guys just kind of existing as people and just being hit with waves of inspiration here and there, and
Yeah.
just being able to pull out your phone and record a melody, record a bass line you hear. I do the same thing, and I think that's one of the best parts about living. You don't necessarily need to sit at a desk and then write a list or make a Venn diagram. Like, you can literally just do what you already have to do, and ideas can just come to you.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've seen you guys have released like a set of singles now. What would you say is your favorite song that you've released so far?
It's definitely between the last two. I would say I like Talk to Me as a song a little bit more, but Mother, I can tell, is like, it feels like we advanced a little bit more in terms of like production from home, and even just the arrangement of it is a little bit more complex. Like we used strings and flutes, where Talk to Me was when we first used like a trumpet. We're like, whoa, that was fun. But I would say, I just feel like Talk to Me is a little bit more dancey, so I would say I like that one the most. I don't know.
Yes, shout out to Talk to Me.
I definitely feel like Talk to Me and Mother, the last two singles, were like us, like finding our sound.
Yeah, getting a stronger sense of like what we are as a project. Because the first two songs we wrote, Feel a Little was like one of the first songs that we sat down and like recorded at all. That was the first song Connor recorded from home, because all our music, well, no, worked on from home, because we took the first two to a studio. And I think part of what, actually, I'm going to say what I just said for a different question. So, okay.
Yeah, I think Talk to Me is probably my favorite so far, because that just like, when we wrote that song, we were just like when it was finished, we were like, holy shit.
Yes.
Like, can't believe we just did this. And then, like I said before, I think that was just kind of like the moment where like we found, we found Trauna. Like that was kind of us uncovering our sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only up from here, because, I mean,
Hope so.
Talk to Me that's an early single. Like, you released it in 2021. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you guys can only progress. So I am extremely excited, because, you know, that's my favorite song from you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you guys mentioned that you've performed a few shows over the years. What would you say is your favorite song to perform? So I'd love to know at this early stage if you have a favorite yet.
I would say Talk to Me has been the most fun. We haven't played that many shows. We've played, I think, 3 total. One of which was a house show in the basement that we actually recorded all the songs. Well, not all the songs, most of our songs in.
Yeah.
But Talk to Me is definitely the song, like the horn line in the chorus. It's so funny.
Yeah, one of the
playing
coolest
that
things.
live.
One of the coolest things that I've experienced in like my career as like a performing musician live is like when we played Talk to Me for the first time. I was not expecting for like the horn part to be like a hook, but when that part of the song hit, everyone like in the crowd was like ba-da, ba-da, da-da. And I was like, what? That's fucking sick. Like I was not expecting anyone to like chant the horn line, but they did, and it was so cool.
Yeah, and something cool about that. So Connor's crazy. Like, I want the world, if we're gonna take anything away from this conversation, and what I want everyone to know is that Connor is like insane at what he does, and
Thanks, babe.
the world is not ready for what, like, production, performance wise, like, everyone needs to know this. But so when we record, Connor records like the drums, the bass, guitar parts. Like, I play guitar, but I choke as soon as I'm starting to record. Like, Connor's so good at recording. What else? I mean, key parts. We'll do like a little bit of both. But then, so any of the sounds that are like orchestral instruments, so strings, not strings, flutes, clarinet, horn, any of that stuff has been one of my lifelong best friends. Like, grew up friends since first grade. He was in the U of M marching band. His name's Doug Ferguson. He recorded the horns on Talk to Me. So when we had our most recent show, it was in Grand Rapids before we moved, we pulled him out and he played the horn line for Talk to Me, and everyone went nuts. It was such a full circle, wholesome moment for me. So that's another reason I love Talk to Me so much, was having my lifelong best friend like involved in that song. And he's now school teacher, like a band teacher, and I'm like, I'm gonna make you quit your job as soon as we start touring. You're coming with us.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Community is so important, and having
Yeah.
people that you've known for so long and grown with and seen you through so many things just
Yeah.
really makes you more well-rounded individual.
hmm
What would you say community means to you as you've moved from Grand Rapids to Nashville?
So when we were thinking about moving, there's obviously New York or LA, because we were like, we just want to move out of where we've been our whole lives and try a different scene and stuff. And one of the biggest appeals, or like the biggest thing that drew us to Nashville, was hearing about and realizing how uplifting the community is. Instead of it being because there's so many people doing what we're doing, people like, it doesn't feel competitive at all. It feels like people are always like, how can I help you? And you want to help people out. And not that we have much to bring to the table at this point, but Nashville is a super uplifting community.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
And also, like, at the same time that we moved to Nashville, or were deciding to move to Nashville, a ton of our close friends from our community in Michigan were also like down to make the move, and that was a huge thing for us. So it's been really nice, like, having like close friends in a new city as well. I think that's made the transition like much more digestible for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So many of our friends, it was like a migration from
Yeah.
Michigan to Nashville. So that is one thing. I really haven't felt homesick since moving, because so many of our best friends are down here. And we're really fortunate for that to be the situation.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's great that you guys didn't lose a community in your move, and you basically formed a new one around your group from Grand Rapids. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing to still
there's, like,
have that.
There's friends that we weren't, like, I feel like we're all just too busy to hang out, even like living in Grand Rapids together. But once we moved to Nashville, it's like we all like clicked and started hanging out like way more than we even did in Grand Rapids, just because we're all kind of in the same boat, like going after the same thing. Yeah, it's been awesome.
That's amazing because, yeah, it really serves no one to, gatekeep and try to hold others back, because if you're reaching for the same thing, like, you should want the best for everyone around you. So I love that
Totally.
you guys have been embraced and that you embrace others. That's a beautiful thing. Hey everyone, hope you're enjoying getting to know Trauna so far. I wanted to take a little break to introduce you to some of their music. This song of theirs really stopped me in my tracks. It features a few of my favorite things: dreamy vocals, punchy drums, and a danceable chorus. It's been in my weekly rotation since I first heard it. Here's Talk to Me by Trauna. I picked your song "Talk to Me." I cannot begin to say how obsessed I am with it. It's really one of my
Thank you.
favorite songs that I've heard this year. Because I unfortunately did not hear it when it was released in 2021, but I've been jamming to it, you know, the past few months. It's incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah,
much.
I love it. I'm like at a loss. I'm at a loss for words because I love a pop song. I love an indie pop song. Love synths. Love like, you know, beautiful vocals. It really has it all. I'm obsessed.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm just like scrolling on TikTok one day, like just doing my thing as it, rots my brain. And
Did you find it on TikTok?
I did. I did find it on TikTok. It
Oh.
works. It works. TikTok works.
Oh my
This is gonna
gosh.
go make 1 billion TikToks
Yes,
right now.
yes. Blow
You
it
just
up.
started something. Oh my god. I haven't been making TikToks because TikTok can be so defeating. Like when you
It
post
is.
like 3 in a day and they all get like 50 views.
Yes.
I'm done.
Literally, it's a pain, and it's like I'm like, we're gonna push this one, but not this one, even though you posted them at the
Yeah.
same time or the same day. But no,
Yeah.
that's how I found you guys, and I was like,
that's so cool.
wait. I have never heard this song before, even though I'm pretty deep into the indie pop sphere. So I was like, okay, I'm a little annoyed. I have not heard this song before. And I look you guys up, based in Nashville, duo. I have to talk to them. What did the process of writing and recording the song entail?
The first thing, so like leading up to that song, we were kind of like stepping around, seeing like what type of songs we might want to make. And one of my favorite genres has always been disco.
Ooh,
Disco, funk, like have always loved disco.
yes,
For obvious reasons.
of course.
And I think we stumbled on this one song. I don't know how we found it, but it's called You Can Have It All by the Stylistics. And as soon as the verse starts, there's this like octave jumping bass line. I'm like, oh, snap. And so I told Connor, I'm like, I want to write a song with octave jumps, like, And we started recording that, and then Connor, we like kind of like fleshed out a bass line for the song. Connor like figured it out. And then I think you must have recorded like a 4 on the floor beat.
Yeah, I think we just started. I just like put down like a really basic like disco drum groove,
Yeah.
and then we kind of like arranged the whole song around the bass.
Yeah.
So that was like the first thing that kind of existed.
And then the chords. And
Yeah.
that's how we knew it was going to be a decent song. It was like we had the song, the chord arrangement figured out before even writing the words. And that's normally
Yeah.
a good thing instead of figuring it out as we go. But yeah. Am I allowed to talk about substances on this interview?
Yes, yes, you can. Any and everything that comes to mind, drop it.
So for the words, we had like the bass line, drums, and chords figured out. And then the first lyrics that popped in my head and like melody were the verse, like pieces fall between my fingers. And I had recently been on, I was on mushrooms, and I had a moment where I was up in my room, and it's interesting because I had to go be by myself, which is not normal for me. And I was in my room, and I just felt like I had to like let out this like fountain of emotions. Like I just had this pent up, like I need to bawl my eyes out right now. Don't know why, but before that, I was like on the couch, of course, peeling oranges because that's what you do on mushrooms. And I was peeling a little cutie orange, and they were like watching like the pieces fall through my fingers. I was like, whoa, like, so that's how it started. But then like the song's about, I went up to my room and I was having this like full conversation with myself, like in my head, basically like, life is so heavy when you carry around a lot of like self-loathing, and like I have had issues with just being way too hard on myself, just absolutely loathing myself, you know, over trivial things, just throughout the day, just feeling like annoyed with myself, you know. And I just like felt like I had to like release that and be like, you got big dreams. Like, that's why I'm like, what are your dreams? Tell me about it. And it seems like I'm like talking with someone else, but I'm talking with myself. Like, you got big dreams. And if you want to make that work, you're going to have to figure out how to freaking love yourself and be nice to yourself. And that's basically the song.
Oh my gosh. That message is so important. Like, so many people, including myself, just deal with that.
Yeah.
You know, self-loathing, like being so hard on yourself, because it's easy, because I mean, we're obviously always around ourselves, so we're the one person that we can attack without there being any like consequences. So on a daily basis, how do you combat that?
Man, one of the most important class that I took in college was controversial issues in psychology, and we broke down like the discourse around trauma. I could get in a wormhole about this, but basically I had the realization through these conversations in this class that you can challenge your thoughts. Like, just because you have a feeling doesn't mean, like, you give meaning to your thoughts. Your thoughts are fleeting like connections in your brain. And if you like interpret that as being real and valid, that's what they're going to be. But you can challenge your thoughts. Feelings are there for a reason, but chances are hating yourself is maladaptive and irrational. So it's worth challenging those feelings and grounding myself. You know, there's like, I'm about to go down a really weird rabbit hole, so I won't do that. But basically, yeah, exercise is important. I realized I like stopped caring about my physical health in quarantine. And I've been like getting back into like just doing Pilates and like caring more about what I'm eating. And naturally, I've felt better about myself and just have felt healthier. But yeah, challenging my thoughts, I guess.
I love that. Because yeah, if you don't challenge, it seems like if you don't challenge your thoughts, they can just consume you because you're always there. So
It's hard to stop a spiral, but realizing that you can stop those spirals was like groundbreaking for me.
Absolutely. Like, yeah, you gave yourself power. And then you wrote this song. So thank you for that.
Yeah. I think that the words are kind of like interesting or funny because like it doesn't tell you like how to figure it out, but the song is like just me realizing like I better figure out at least how to be nice to myself if I want to make these dreams work out, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't have the answers, but this ain't working.
Yes. Because I mean, yeah, everyone has to find the answer for themselves. So yeah, it's beautiful that you were able to put those thoughts and, you know, beliefs and, you know, feelings you had about yourself to paper and, you know, produce Talk to Me.
Yeah.
But how do you feel now that it's been a couple of years since you released it in 2021?
I love that song.
I do too. I think it's sick.
When we listen to it, I still have the feeling like, how do we come up with that? Like, where did that come
honestly,
from?
and that feeling hits me even harder now that it's been like over a year since it came out.
Yeah.
Like when I'll say it, I have that song on a couple of my own playlists, so it will come on.
Yes.
While I'm listening to music.
As you should.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, like whenever that song comes on, it just like it doesn't hit me that it's something that we made, which is such a weird feeling.
Yeah. I think like that was the first song that we recorded at home fully. Like the first two songs that are out, we went to a studio for, and that one we recorded at home and just had complete like creative freedom to track it how we wanted to. And I feel like that might be why we were able to get it to sound like something that's exactly like what we wanted it to sound like. But yeah, that's the song where I'm like, I don't know how we came up with that. It's really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It just like it has kind of like it has a magic to me that I can't really describe, but the way that we like recorded it, we just I don't know, we just really went with like the flow of things instead of trying to make everything like perfect. Like Liz's vocal take on that song is is the first vocal take that she put down on like a shitty $100 microphone while we were recording the demo, and we tried to record it again later on, but we were like, this
Scratch
first vocal
vocal.
take is just like that's the one that has like the most like feeling to it, because like it was right there. And yeah, I think, and that carries on to like other performances in the song too, but it's just like, I don't know, it just feels very real to me.
Yeah, it does.
It feels like we captured a moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy to hear that was the scratch vocal, because I mean, I'll say it again. Like, the vocals are beautiful. Like, I love
Thank
them. I love
you.
them. So yeah, you really
you.
you've got it. But I think we need to
It's so funny.
circle back to disco and four on the floor beats, because
Yeah.
we can go on about that. That
We need to go on.
yes. What a decade.
Seriously.
Disco is my favorite genre. So
Yeah.
yeah, please, I'd love to know what it means to you. Like, I know it inspired the song, and the funny thing about that is I can hear that you guys had wanted to add that danceable, feeling to it, but it's still extremely modern and unique. So I'd love to know what you were listening to, like what kind of what other like parts of, disco culture like inspire you to this day.
I think obviously the most like important thing is the four on the floor beat, and that's like any decade of disco, like, and that's something we're kind of like tiptoeing in is like 80s disco kind of right now. But when the person who mixed that song is one of my dad's best friends from college. His name's Jeff Sainoff. He and I had been talking about working together because he's mostly a recording engineer in New York. But he and I had been talking back and forth about like kind of like finding our sound, and he had given us he's like, you should check out this band, and he sent me the song, I think it's Nothing Can Stop Us Now by Saint Etienne. And that has been one of my favorite songs ever since. So that's kind of like 90s house almost feeling, which is still like that four on the floor. Like, I really love house music too. But I remember having this conversation with my mom when I was still in school, and I was talking about, we were talking about basically how as a country we are so polarized and how we can't talk about anything. We're in an epistemic crisis. Nobody knows what's right or wrong. We don't know how to talk. Everyone is interpreting everything as an attack. And so with music, I'm like, how can everyone get down together? And like, that doesn't, I'm not saying some things are right or wrong, but we should be able to come together. If we can't be civil through talking, at least dancing. Like, we need to heal ourselves. I don't know what it's going to take, but what can everyone on the planet get down to? Disco.
Yes.
And I had this moment. I was like, duh, we're writing disco. Like, I want everyone to be able to dance.
Yes, that is a genre, honestly.
Yeah.
It's funny that you bring that up, because I think that's one of the things I love so much about the genre and everything that came out of it, was that people of all kinds and who came from all walks of life were able to just kind of be on the dance floor and do their thing and live. And you know, a lot of them were on something, but
Oh,
they
totally.
they were having fun. They were having fun, and that's the point. That's the
Yeah.
point. So I'm just glad that you two are trying to bring that back in a way that is still unique and original, because you still have your voice and your sound. You're just bringing this music back that really should have never been outlawed in a way, thrown
Yeah.
away, burned. Yeah, shout out to everyone who was at the death of disco little little party they had.
Yeah.
You, you know what? You'll pay for that. You'll pay. You'll pay. So I'm happy. I'm happy that you guys you're doing your thing. Again, I love Talk to Me and love disco. Four on the
Thank
floor.
you.
Yeah. Die. Listen to me die with a four on the floor beat playing. Play one at my funeral.
Literally.
But
I think I think we're really inspired by like music that has come out of you know, certain certain times where, like, you know, like now, like the political like climate in the country is kind of like heated, and like punk music came out of like a similar situation. And disco, I mean, disco too, because everyone wanted to like escape and like have a good time, as we were mentioning. But I think we're also like really inspired by that like kind of like angry like punk attitude as well, which is why like we use like a lot of like heavier tones in our music too, like fuzz guitar. This is kind of like getting away from Talk to Me, but in Mother, in the chorus of that song, it's like the riff is like don 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 don. It's like a heavy riff, but it's still like over top of like that four on the floor, like jumping bass line disco beat.
Yeah.
So
yes.
we try to like pull from a bunch of different places.
Yeah, it's important as an artist to respond to what's happening in the world in your own way. And to know that Talk to Me is a response to our current climate, it just shows like how creative you can get in your response. It would be easy to kind of wallow or just like hide, but yeah, like to put out like a dancey tune, or and then your other music to put out like punchy guitar riffs. I think that's the way to do it, because it you know, feeds you. It makes you feel good as you're responding to like the dumpster fire that we're all in right now.
Right, for
But
sure.
but it also helps everyone else that's listening. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
important work that you're doing.
Yeah, and I feel like even no matter how bad things get, in order for people to have the endurance to keep resisting in any way, like you need relief at some point. And I think some people don't have the option but to keep their nose down and struggle nonstop. And that's very true. But I feel like I would love to at least create a source of relief for people in any way that I can, interpersonally, but like with whatever we're making with music. That's why I'm like, I want people to feel good when they listen to our music.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing it already. It's just like having the goal of doing that allows it to come through. Like it's
Yeah.
natural. Yeah, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I've had so much fun talking to you two today and learning more about you guys as individuals and as a duo, and learning about Talk to Me, one of my favorite songs to come out of 2021. A very interesting year for music.
Yeah.
So, thinking about yourselves as individuals, if you could speak to your younger self, what would you say?
Oh, I would probably try to get to the root of why I have such bad performance anxiety now. So I would probably try to say something along the lines of, I don't know, just being supportive of my younger self, putting myself in uncomfortable performance situations. I mean, there's so many things I could say, but my younger self would not understand. But with performing especially, like, I, from a very young age, had the understanding that my voice was annoying and shrill, and that, like, it made me, like, as an adult, like, I can't sing in front of people, you know, and I'm still trying to work through that. That's why, like, I record from home. Like, I will not go back into a studio to sing in front of somebody. I will only sing by myself, you know. Or, like, with performing, I feel, like, really scared. And I think that, yeah, I would go back to my younger self and make myself perform more. I avoided performing at, like, in any way that I could.
Yeah, my God. Before we get to you, Connor,
Yeah.
yes, I totally see you in that, Liz. Like, performance anxiety is so real, and the thing I hate about it the most is that it, affects your voice. Like, it's just like, I know I can hit this. Like, I know that I killed this at home, and suddenly it sounds different because I am anxious. It's a pain, but I really hope that, as you continue to grow as a person, that you're able to, like, break through it, because you do have a beautiful voice, and
Thank you.
People would only be honored to hear you sing in person. But yeah, so yeah, I really hope you can, find the root and go get past that. But I do see you in that struggle. I deal with that as well.
Yeah.
The cool thing is, even though Liz has, like, all that anxiety around performing, when she's on stage, she's, like, such a naturally, like, gifted, like, front woman. She is captivating to watch.
It's hard to not have fun when people are cheering for you.
Ooh, yes.
That's also a great point,
this is
but
awesome.
Live for
But
the
it does
applause.
take getting out there, and the hardest part is
you just have cool moves.
doing it. The hardest part is the day, at least for me, like, the day leading up to it. Months out, I would lose sleep knowing we had a show. So anytime somebody, like, messages us and it's like, will you open for us? I'm like, ooh, how do I get out of this? But then as soon as we're on stage and I, like, see my friends in front of me and stuff, it's like, oh, this is heaven on earth. Like, what the hell am I so scared about? And then I get off, I'm like, that was scary.
I love that. I love that you're at least able to enjoy yourself while you're there, because I can understand, like, that anticipation is killer.
It's petrifying.
Yes.
I never would have started performing if it weren't for Connor supporting me and making me feel like I could do that, and that I didn't suck, and that I was good enough to perform. That's Connor's totally to thank for that.
Oh, I love that.
Connor, what would you say?
To my younger self.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, as a kid I was, like, really I'm still, like, fairly shy and not talkative, but I just think I was really shy and, like, emotionally, like, kind of closed off as a kid. So I feel like I would just and I don't know, I think when I got to, like, a point in my life where I was, like, I don't know, opening up more emotionally and just, like, opening up to people more, I just, like, started, like, having, like, connections and like, new experiences in my life that I think have just made my life more exciting and made me a better person. So I would just, I don't know, try to encourage myself to open up a little bit more at a younger age. But I don't know. made me who I am today. So I guess I have that to be thankful for.
Yeah, absolutely. It is hard to think about that because if you do too
Yeah.
much, you might not be who you are today, and all
Yeah.
the things. But that's still good advice to give to yourself.
Yeah.
Something I realized that's kind of cool about what we're doing is like so much of our music, or like so much of the songs that I write, are processing like my whole life, and like a lot of songs aren't even out yet that I'm talking about. But understanding, Mother is really about like, why do I struggle the way I do now because of things that happened when I was little. And this whole band, almost, at least songwriting wise, is almost like an ode to my younger self. And then I realized, I was like, oh my God, this band is called Trauna. That's like 4-year-old me running around. Like, how cool is that? Like, not to make it all about me on accident, but like, we're like processing everything we've been through, and I'm like this whole project is me breaking through a huge wall because I'm constantly so petrified with like fear, like doubting myself, and like processing, I don't know, figuring out what happened when I was little and wanting to like go back and talk to myself in all of those ways. And I'm like, wow, I'm like, this project feels like a big hug to my little self.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because you're doing something productive, like, and really facilitating your growth as a person.
Yeah.
And you're helping others along the way. Like I love,
hope so.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if going into all of those topics is not something that's done every day in music. It's easy to keep it surface level and monetizable.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that this band has become kind of an ode to your younger self.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys mentioned that you're working on music constantly, just writing, recording, producing. What is next for the band?
We're in the process of rolling out our first EP. It'll be 4 or 5 songs, depending on if we include Talk to Me in it. Sometimes I'm like, it's been a long time, but then I'm like, no, Talk to Me makes complete sense with this Custer song. So 4 or 5 songs. The first song of the EP was Mother. But since we've been like figuring out the process as we're moving along in terms of who's gonna mix it, how are we gonna, and we're recording it all from home. And Connor is going to be mixing it now too. So he's been like teaching himself more about mixing and stuff. So it's taking a little bit longer than we initially intended, but
We just want to make it good.
yeah, we want
Yes.
to do it exactly like, we're trying not to be hard on ourselves about timing and stuff because we're not going to rush it. But the next song is basically done.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes time. Like it takes however long it takes, and that's it. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you all are, putting so much care and attention into it, and I'm super excited to listen to your EP.
Thank you.
Yeah. So where can people find you online? We already discussed the power of TikTok. So
Yeah.
drop the handles.
You can find me spamming TikTok. Ooh. I cringe myself out on that app, but I know I have to do it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, I know. Obviously, go like all my TikToks. So we have like all the socials. We have Twitter, Instagram, but we're on
They're
all
all under,
streaming platforms.
Yeah. And all the socials are under Trauna the band, except
Yeah.
for TikTok.
TikTok
is
is Trauna Bolana.
Trauna Bolana.
Ooh, I love that. Yes. Follow them, stream their music, and go to their
Maybe all of our
shows.
socials should be Trauna Bolana.
Yeah.
That is fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the story. It's how it started.
Yeah.
That's great. But yes, follow them, stream their music, go to their upcoming shows, and do your thing. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being on. I had so much fun talking to you both.
Yeah, it was
a
a pleasure to be on
pleasure.
the show.
Thanks
Yes.
for wanting to talk to us.
Yeah.
This is
Man,
fun.
y'all are the best. Thank you for listening to In My Tracks. The show was created and produced by me, your host and friend, Jada Burt. And shout out to Play Audio Agency for producing, recording, and editing the show, and for composing the original theme music you are currently jamming out to. It is truly a labor of love, and I hope you enjoy it. To continue the fun, follow In My Tracks Pod on all social channels. Don't forget to use hashtag InMyTracksPod to share the songs that stop you in your tracks. Looking to discover even more awesome music? Follow In My Tracks Pod on Spotify for weekly playlists. And please remember to follow the show so you don't miss an episode. And leave a review if you're enjoying it. See you next time!